David Akers will be kicking off for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Felix Jones, who will see a lot of activity in the backfield tonight. He and Marion Barber and Tashard Choice, the three-headed running game for the Dallas Cowboys. And we are ready for action as Philadelphia and Dallas meet for the third time this season and the second time in 6 days. Jones at the 2-yard line. And the coverage is very good. He is taken down at the 16. After missing 7 games, we'll see a lot of Doug Free as well, who's done a very good job in his stead. And now from the 17-yard line, we'll start with a penalty. Ed Hockley is the referee tonight, and this will be false start against
false start offense.
Dallas.
Number 63, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
And Kyle Kozar, the left guard. Tony Romo playing the best football of his career of late. In the New Orleans game, then the Washington game, then last week. 4,483 yards with a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio on 1st and 15. Here's Barber over the right side, and Barber up to the 15 on 2nd down and 12 now against an Eagle defense that normally does a lot of blitzing but did very little last Sunday. And Romo throws to the outside, and that'll be caught by Williams, and he will get wrapped up right away by Asante Samuel. In the first game between these two teams, the Eagles, as they normally do, blitzed a lot. 23 of the 38 pass plays back in Philadelphia week 9. But last week, Chris, interestingly, on less than a third of the pass plays did the Eagles blitz under new coordinator Sean McDermott.
And what they learned was that physically in one-on-one situations, they can't hold up. They have no choice. They have to blitz.
3rd down and 5. And speaking of choice, Tashard Choice is in the backfield now. He's their 3rd down back. Eagles begin to crowd the line. And here comes the blitz on a 3rd and 5, and he gets it away, and he hits Choice, and Tashard Choice is able to pick up the first down. Will Witherspoon on the blitz, then Choice makes the catch and is able to pick up the first down by about a half-yard to the 28-yard line.
Well, they did come with the blitz that time, but they messed up the protection a little bit on the backside. Watch as the blitz comes to the left. Their safety's going to drop back out, but he's in man coverage, and they just simply made it too easy for Tony Romo there. Macho Harris, they've struggled with their safety position this year with an early mistake.
Barber back in on 1st down. And Marion Barber will look to get to the outside and can't. Good tackle. The defensive end, Trent Cole, moving to the outside. Cole with 12.5 sacks this season and playing the run very effectively here.
A really good sign here for the Philadelphia Eagles. In the last game, Trent Cole was flying up the field, and the Cowboys were able to run underneath him. There he plays it much more solidly against Flozell Adams and makes the play.
Eagles doing a lot of substituting at the outset here. They've had a mix and match all year long amongst their linebackers, mainly due to injuries. On 2nd down and 11, Romo shoots one to the outside, caught by Williams, and that's a first down. And Williams, who has become somewhat of a forgotten man of late as Miles Austin has ascended, and Romo loads to go to Witten. He hits Williams twice on this drive.
This quick screen has really hit the Eagles hard. You've got 4 receivers over here on the right-hand side, and Roy Williams right there. This play, every time that the Eagles line up with their double-barrel blitz coming right down the middle with 2 linebackers inside, all Romo does is just raise up, throw it to one of the wide receivers, and the Eagles have not come up with an answer for it.
And Williams was shaken up on the play, took his helmet off, and he's back on the sideline right now. 1st and 10 from the Dallas 42-yard line. Inside handoff. They love to run the delay. They love to run the draw. They do it with great effectiveness. And this is Felix Jones picking up close to 5.
Well, one of the things that draw allows the Dallas Cowboys offensive linemen to do is to see the stunts. You're going to see the stunt come in right here, but you've got Leonard Davis there because it's a draw and he doesn't have to react quickly, can wait on the movement and then come right back and make the block. It's speed versus power. The Eagles with the speed, the Cowboys with the power.
Here's the Wildcat. Tashard Choice will take the snap, and he'll keep it. And Choice will pick up the first down and get into Philadelphia territory to the 44-yard line, and that's that three-headed attack with Barber, with Jones, and with Choice. 9-yard gain, first down, Dallas.
Well, once again, Kyle Kozar showing the ability to get out and around here and lead his back up and through. They get Deion Anderson out in front as well. And so far, we're just getting back to the power football. Of course, Jason Witten, the big tight end, is going to come down on the inside backer here and just seal it off. So far, everything the Cowboys have thrown at him has worked.
Cowboys with 4 rushers, 3 passes. This is the 8th play of the drive. Fakes to the right, goes to the left to Felix Jones. Another first down, stays inbounds down the sideline, and is finally out of bounds at the 14-yard line. 30 yards.
Great call here by Jason Garrett. They fake the quick screen to the right that's been killing the Eagles. Come back, screen left to Felix Jones. Give their best playmaker a chance in the open field. Well, this has been just a repeat of what the Cowboys did a week ago early in this game.
Last week's scoring on the opening drive, mainly due to extremely effective rushing. Here's the delay again. The Cowboys with 29% of their rushes, and a flag is thrown here. 29% of their rushes this year, draw plays, by far the largest percentage in the league for any team. Ed Hockley is the ref.
Illegal motion offense. Number 82 was moving toward the line of scrimmage at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Jason Witten, second penalty on Dallas on this drive. Jason Garrett came in, and a couple of years ago, he was as hot as any assistant in the league and had a chance to go to Baltimore or to Atlanta and turned it down. And then last year, the way things went, all of a sudden he wasn't the hot assistant anymore. Now he's hot again.
He is hot again. If they win here today, he's going to be really hot again.
3 tight end set on a 1st and 15 for the Cowboys. And through the middle, Felix Jones to the 17-yard line.
We've seen the tight end position become really important for the Dallas Cowboys. They've started going more 3 tight end sets here lately than they have in the past. And John Phillips, number 89, has essentially been playing the fullback position. And what that's done is allowed them to have a little better weapon coming out of the backfield as a receiver. And he's sort of the equal of Deion Anderson, at least in run blocking, probably not quite as good in pass protection.
2nd and 13. Williams still not back in the game. That's Hurd going in motion and staying in the block, and Romo sending it to the right side. This is Kevin Ogletree for a 1st and goal, but a flag is down at the 13-yard line. And the indication is against the Cowboys again.
Before the pass was touched, pass interference offense number 82 was blocking downfield. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Well, it's Jason Witten again.
Well, they're going to fake the toss left, come back and throw the screen right. The misdirection really hurt the Eagles last week, and it's obviously working again. Let's watch Witten here on the end of the line of scrimmage. He's downfield. The block is made before the catch was made. Good call by the officials.
3 Dallas penalties on this drive. Roy Williams now comes back into the game, and they send him wide to the left side. There's Miles Austin, who has emerged as their star wideout. 2nd down and 23 from the 26-yard line.
A lot of man coverage across.
Cowboys 4 wide. Romo under pressure, the blitz, and down he will go at the 36-yard line. So Romo standing back there alone, and Tracy White, number 52, the first guy to come in, and away came the Eagles Chris Clemens, the second guy to get him, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 32.
This time they split the linebackers, bring one Tracy White, drop the other one back underneath Jason Witten just in case he was the hot read. And really, for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is how they have to play. They can't consistently stop the Dallas Cowboys offense, so they have to create big plays, and they create big plays with the blitz.
Last week, the Eagles barely breathed on Romo. In fact, they contacted him only twice, period, the entire game. Big sack here on the opening drive of the game, 3rd and 32, and Romo will throw incomplete. So the penalties back the Cowboys up to the point where they can't even try a field goal. And the penalties against Witten in particular hurt them. So 3 penalties on a drive on which it looked like without the second Witten penalty, they would have had a 1st and goal. And now all of a sudden you've got Matt McBriar in to punt with Deshaun Jackson standing back inside the 10. And a floating kick that's fair caught at the 10-yard line. George W. Bush, 43rd President of the United States, resident of Dallas right now with his wife Laura, sitting next to Emmitt Smith as they look on. Philadelphia's first play of the game is an incomplete pass intended for Macklin. And without a huddle, they go to Weaver. Leonard Weaver, voted into the Pro Bowl as the fullback, carrying the ball for a gain of 2, 3rd down and 8. For Donovan McNabb, their first-round pick back in '99, came in with Andy Reid, 11 years in the league. There are his numbers. We talked to him last night and said, you don't have to rank them 1 through 11, but where would you put this year for you individually? He said right behind 04, which was their Super Bowl year, in effect saying it was the 2nd best year of his career. 3rd down and 8. Cowboys coming. Pressure. Tipped and incomplete. It was batted by Brady James. So after a long Dallas drive, Philadelphia is 3 and out on its first drive.
Boy, Donovan was lucky on that. They're going to come with a blitz, but drop Brady James back out underneath this one. And Donovan threw it right to him. The ball just went through his hands. Very fortunate break that time for Donovan and the Eagles.
Sav Rocca is the Philadelphia punter. Patrick Creighton, who ran back kicks for touchdowns on back-to-back weeks this season, will field this one at the 35. And Creighton gets blasted at the 49-yard line by Joe Mays. Asante Samuel, who started his career with New England, and of course he is a guy, if you watch the NFL, you know he will jump a lot of routes, he will pick off a lot of passes, and he's had 4 interceptions in postseason play that have been returned for touchdowns. Dallas starts at its own 49-yard line. The running back is Felix Jones. Over right guard, big hole for Jones. To the 30-yard line he goes before he gets knocked down by Sheldon Brown. That's a gain of 20.
Jeremiah Trotter right here is going to be the key to stopping the run for the Philadelphia Eagles. And this time, Andre Gerard got up on him. They thought that Trotter gave him a little juice, as they called it last week, a little emotion against the run. But the Cowboys running game ran through the Eagles a week ago.
From the 31-yard line, off the fake, and Romo can't avoid the sack, and this time it is Chris Gokon coming from his left outside linebacker spot, who gets in there for a 9-yard sack, the Eagles' 2nd sack of the period.
We're seeing a lot of pre-snap movement now by the Philadelphia Eagles defense, trying to create some confusion. Chris Gokon comes over here this time, puts his hand on the ground, and comes up and catches this bootleg. One of the things they thought that Tony Romo did to him a week ago was pre-snap read what they were doing. So they're trying to show him something early, make a late movement, and that time it caught him.
Out of the gun, Romo flanked by Marion Barber on 2nd and 17. And they give it to Marion. He gets to the 36-yard line. Victor Abiamiri making the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
And some of that movement along the defensive line now, they've got some smaller guys in there. I mean, probably 50, 60 pounds difference per man when you take the Eagles defensive line and this Cowboys offensive line. So what they're doing now is they're moving those guys sideways, and that sort of slow play is stopping the draw that they had no answer for last week.
3rd and 15. They'll keep it on the ground, and this is Choice. And he can only get to the 34-yard line. So once again, with Quentin Michael making the tackle, the special teams group takes a look. Do you want field goal or punt? And they will send in the punting group.
Watch the late movement here by the defensive line. What Romo thought was going to be an opening to his left after the shift simply wasn't there. And once again, no field goal opportunity.
So here's where we were about 4 minutes ago as well, with a short kick upcoming that will be stopped inside the 5-yard line. So the Cowboys get down there, and Jeff Lurie, whose teams have met so often through the years, Jury's owned the team for 2 decades. Jeff took over in the early 90s in Philadelphia, each with a lot of success, as Weaver takes the ball out to the 9-yard line. Philadelphia this season, team record for most points. They average 27 points a game. They averaged only 8 against the Cowboys, but 29.5 in all of the other games. And against the Cowboys, over 100 yards less per game, passer rating much less. So the Cowboys have had the Eagles number. Brian Westbrook is in the game, flanking McNabb on 2nd down and 6. And Donovan has time, and the pass is too high, intended for Brent Selleck, and a flag is down. And Selleck is down, face first. Ken Hamlin with the coverage. Selleck was the Eagles' leading receiver during the regular season, 76 catches for him.
Defenseless receiver here, helmet to helmet, forearm to helmet, anything. There you go. That's what's called. And you can see the net result of that. The NFL has done everything they could to try and help defenseless players, kickers, quarterbacks, and receivers.
Unnecessary roughness, defense number 26. A hit to a defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty in the previous spot, an automatic 1st down.
And the really tough part about that is the Eagles were backed up and struggling, and now you finally give them a little space to work.
Also for the Eagles, as they give Selleck a breather here, only 2 tight ends are active. The other would be Alex Smith. So that's 4 penalties now against the Dallas Cowboys in the first 12 minutes of the game. Selleck on the bench for the moment. Penalty from the previous spot, so it's a 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. LaShawn McCoy is the running back. And McCoy swings to the outside, and Philadelphia with its own 3-headed attack with McCoy, with Westbrook, and with Weaver. Those two have really made a difference. And this is a defense that has pitched back-to-back shutouts to end the season. McNabb flushed out, almost sacked, and he gets it away. Hockley looks for where he was and says he was inside the tackle box and throws the flag. Marcus Spears was there. Donovan is saying, I was trying to get it to that guy. Hockley took a look, and he's going to call him for grounding.
Offense number 5. The ball will be placed at the spot of the pass, and a loss of down. Brings up 3rd down.
Well, you know the rules by now. Got to be outside the tackle box, drawn there for you. But this was a Dallas Cowboys defense that was confused, and Donovan McNabb has to get this ball out of here. This is 100% on him. At some point in that process, you have to say, okay, I'm going to throw this thing away, and it's going to be 3rd down and 6 or whatever it was. Now you're backed up in an impossible situation.
Selleck comes back into the game. 3rd down and 24, and they'll just try to buy some breathing space for the punter, Sam Rocca, as LaShawn McCoy gets taken down by Bobby Carpenter.
And speaking of breathing, because the Eagles have been running this no-huddle offense and not doing much with it, their defense has to come out on the field probably a little quicker than they were hoping for.
The Eagles have had the ball for less than 3 minutes in the quarter, which has 1 minute and 44 seconds left. Rock's punt. Fielded at the 34. Creighton. Nice little stutter step, swings to the outside and then gets taken down at the 45. That's a beautiful shot. You've all heard about this stadium. Beautiful stadium in Arlington, Texas, about a 40-minute drive from downtown Dallas. And George Strait opened it with a concert last June. Of course, the home of the Cowboys, and the NBA All-Star game will be played here next month. Tonight's crowd, by the way, should exceed 90,000. It might wind up as the biggest playoff crowd in history. Romo throws. Here's Witten now to the 49-yard line. In the 2 games against Philadelphia this year, when Tony Romo has targeted Jason Witten, 13 receptions out of 15 passes thrown at him. 8 for 13 with Miles Austin, 5 of 9 with Roy Williams. And tonight he went to Williams twice on that first series.
And they have to start getting some contact on Jason Witten. They can't allow him the free release he just got.
2nd and 4. And Jones will go next to nowhere, taken down by Broderick Bunkley.
Now, there's no question that for Tony Romo, he has been a big player here in the month of December and early January. A guy that so many questions, Al, about whether or not he could play in the clutch. Could he win games in December? They always folded down the stretch. Same questions about the playoffs as well. But he certainly answered. He was the player of the month for December, so we know he can get it done.
But here he is again in what might be the biggest game of his career, because everybody knows what the expectations are for the Cowboys, and the fact that these Dallas Cowboys with another flag.
Number 75, 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
That's Mark Colombo. And it's all too well known, and a story that just goes on, and no playoff wins for the Cowboys since 1996.
And really, this game has not started exceptionally well for them, because they've been moving the ball up and down the field and don't have anything to show for it because of some penalties.
Wade Phillips in his 3rd year, and of course when you're the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, you're always under the gun. The Dallas win, they go to Minnesota. A Philly win, they go to New Orleans next week. It's 3rd down and 8. Cowboys at their own 46-yard line. And Romo finds his target for a 1st down, and that's Miles Austin. Breakout year for him. Joselio Hansen making the tackle. He caught 81 balls and a lot of important ones. 12-yard gain, 1st down.
Well, they did find the replacement for Terrell Owens. Just wasn't the guy they thought it was going to be. They assumed it was going to be Roy Williams, but what a remarkable year it has been for Miles Austin. Not only big plays, but big plays and big moments has been his trademark.
None bigger than an overtime catch after a 4th quarter catch against Kansas City early in the year. Romo, play fake, buys time, going deep, and it's broken up at the last moment, and a flag comes in as well. Sheldon Brown with the coverage, with Miles Austin having beaten him.
Yeah, no question in my mind that this was pass interference. Austin was reaching back for the ball. It starts off with Asante Samuels, but then it turns into Sheldon Brown with the late run, and you can see as he's reaching back, essentially runs right through Miles Austin.
Defense, number 24. The ball is at the 1-yard line, automatic 1st down.
Interesting, one official called it incomplete, and the flag came from the other, but the other was right.
And Chris, how about the oddity of having both corners involved in the play instead of having a corner and a safety?
Yeah, because of some of the formations the Cowboys throw at you, occasionally they'll flank a tight end off to the backside, 2 wide receivers to one side. They're just sort of probing this defense right now, trying to see how they're going to play them.
Marion Barber behind the fullback Deion Anderson on a 1st down and goal. Fake to Barber. Romo rolling, throwing, caught. Touchdown, John Phillips.
This was some play by John Phillips right there. Really didn't fool anybody. Quentin Michael had him. He just found a way to get free. Tony Romo with a great play fake here, but that was really made by Phillips, who just kept fighting and fighting and found a little space.
Phillips, a rookie out of Virginia, caught 7 balls this season, no touchdowns. Picked a great spot for his first ever. Sean Sweezum with Tony Romo holding. Romo and Garrett going over the notes and the pictures on the Dallas bench as Dallas takes a 7-0 lead 51 seconds into the second quarter. Then you had Brown and Samuel playing on the same side, getting beaten on the play. The penalty putting the ball at the 1. The touchdown pass to Phillips, and now the kickoff by David Beeler, who they drafted to kick touchbacks this season. He's kicked 29 of them, and this one to the 2-yard line, and that is Kevin Ogletree taking care of Macho Harris.
How about that for a wide receiver? Holy smokes.
Kevin says, you think you're a macho? Watch this.
Wow. It's one of those statement hits. The Eagles thought they had to come in here and make a bit of a statement and prove their manhood and hit him in the mouth, and Ogletree just hit him in the kneecap.
Philadelphia, they've been on the field only 3:20, and that defense starting to get a little gassed right now as you take a look at the time of possession. They need a somewhat extended drive, and Weaver helps them get started to the 24-yard line, and we'll go back to take a look at the pass interference call that set up the touchdown.
Interesting defensive formation. 2 safeties over here because of the 2 tight end set, and here's a corner, here's a corner. Sheldon Brown back, and he's just not used to playing here. There's nothing to threaten him, so there was no reason for him to not back up and be underneath that deep ball. But if you're not a safety, you're not used to doing that. And that time the trickery sort of burned the Eagles.
And now you hear the crowd because they sense that Michael Vick is in the game, and here he is off the play fake, and Vick throws, and the pass is caught at the 48-yard line by Jeremy Maclin, and he'll be able to stay in bounds and take it in for a touchdown. Michael Vick, a 76-yard touchdown pass to send 90,000 plus into silence. Andy Reid walking down the sideline and ready to congratulate number 7 when he gets back to the bench.
Mike Jenkins has been playing so well for the Cowboys. He falls down on this one, though, and creates the space for Maclin. But that was the play that Michael Vick has been running all season. This either handoff and Reid, they pull the tackles, pull the tight end around, make it look like a run, and then take advantage of the one-on-one coverage on the outside. And boy, does this place sound different now.
David Akers for the point after. Jeremy Maclin, the rookie, is about 4 months shy of his 22nd birthday. Just became the youngest player with a touchdown reception in NFL postseason history. There's Macho Harris, who took that hit on the return, and they have to help him get back to the locker room. Vick threw 1 touchdown pass during the regular season, 5 yards to Brent Selleck in a game in Atlanta last month. Now the kickoff from Akers is fielded by Felix Jones, and that's a good open field tackle at the 15-yard line by Joe Mays, and back we go to Vick to Maclin.
This has been a run play all year. Watch DeMarcus Ware come down and hit this as these guys pull around, and Mike Vick really sells this as a run. So what it creates is just one-on-one on the outside, and I thought Maclin did a great job of slow playing that route, setting it up on the outside, making it look like a run himself with a block. You see Ware coming down, trying to fend off the blockers, got no pressure at all, and Mike Vick with a clutch throw.
And that ties the game. So for the Eagles, McNabb is 0 for 3. Vick is 1 for 1 for 76 yards. That's your passing game. First down. Empty it out, go 4 wide. And Romo will throw over the middle, throws a duck, and that is intercepted at the 35-yard line. And that is Sean Jones, who gets back up and runs the ball to the 14-yard line. So with Macho Harris going back into the locker room, it's Sean Jones who takes his spot at the safety position and comes up with the interception.
Jason Witten just couldn't throw a block out here on the outside. He got his quarterback run over. Yes, they were blitzing, but everybody else held up pretty well. Jaquay Parker came in there. And really, Romo bailed on the throw. Instead of standing in there or doing what he usually does, which is move around a little bit, he bailed on it and threw a pick. If it stands.
Well, the crowd is watching the replays, and of course, Wade Phillips now has to determine whether he wants to challenge, and he will. He saw enough to think that it could get overturned. So Wade Phillips will challenge that was an interception that he had control. This is a very close call here. We've been looking at it during commercial. The ball clearly at one point touches the ground. You'll see it, part of the ball. There it is right there. Now, it's the same thing as a receiver. Picture him as a receiver. Does he have control of the ball? Here comes Hockley.
The ball hit the ground before it was possessed by the Philadelphia player. Therefore, the pass was incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10 at the 15-yard line. Please reset the clock to 13:09. 13:09 on the clock. There are no timeouts charged.
So the whole thing is, if you possess the ball before it hits the ground, and according to Hockley, he did not. He's trying to get possession here, but doesn't possess the ball, as you can see in that shot right there. Then he does get control of the ball, and thus it is overturned.
Just because it hits the ground doesn't make it incomplete. If you control it and the ball hits the ground and you maintain control, it's the old Bert Emanuel rule.
Absolutely.
It would have been an interception, but because it came loose, incomplete.
Emanuel, the Tampa Bay receiver in the game against St. Louis, and that changed everything in the rule book in regard to plays like that. 2nd down and 10, and now it's Felix Jones picking up a first down. So Dallas with a flag thrown here again. Penalty strewn first half. Dallas would have been backed up deep in a 7-7 game. Instead, they have the ball again. Jones with a good run again, but a flag down at the 27-yard line.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. The player who tackled the runner. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Give you a shot of the #1 thing you do not want to see if you're a safety in the National Football League, and that would be Leonard Davis pulling around as you're stepping up to make a play in the run. That big man came around there. Then you saw the face mask penalty on the tail end of that one as well. So a not so good turn of events here for the Eagles.
That was Will Witherspoon, who started the season as a Ram and came over to Philadelphia in mid-year with a penalty. And Jones gets taken down as he crosses the line of scrimmage.
Moses Foku coming over from his backside linebacker position to make a play, and they really are excited about him. They think that he's one of those guys. He's awfully young, no experience. But they said this is his 3rd try against the Dallas Cowboys, so some of those things that didn't make sense to him early on ought to start making sense now. But they're going to rotate him in with Chris Gokong a little bit just to try and settle him down.
Foku's 7th round pick, last round of the draft from Maryland. 2nd and 9. Off the fake. Romo under pressure. Gets jostled. Ball is loose. Arm was coming forward or not. There's been no whistle. Now incomplete. Hockley was looking at it, but in from the side came the official with Will Witherspoon knocking
Pass
it
is ruled
loose.
Incomplete. 3rd down.
3rd and 9.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much question in my mind that Tony Romo released that. Watch the tail end. He's going to try and dump it right over the top to Felix Jones. But I think Ed Hockley thinking I have nothing to lose here. You don't want to blow it dead. He's been in that situation before. So just let this thing play itself out and we can fix it later.
A lot of whistle swallowing.
Yeah. One of the top officials in the game, no question about it. In the playoffs almost every year, though.
3rd and 9 from the 43-yard line. Romo, who is 7 out of 10. The 77 yards throws, and that'll be caught for a first down by Patrick Creighton to the Eagle 39-yard line. He goes, stopped by Hansen, gain of 18 yards.
Flozell Adams has just done a tremendous job on the Eagles' best pass rusher, Trent Cole, on the outside. This is sort of the way it's gone in almost every game. But for Tony Romo, he saw that time. They backed out of the blitz, patiently awaited Creighton to come across the middle. That looked more like the Tony Romo we've been seeing.
Choice is the tailback. They use the fullback, Deion Anderson, in this set. Little toss to Choice. The 36 gain of 3. Let's check in with Andrea.
Well, guys, it is very warm, and there is no air at all down here. Now, when the Eagles defense was on the sideline, they looked gassed. You can imagine what they'll be after this drive. Heat was an issue last week, so much so that Andy Reid had the team practicing in their indoor bubble with the heat turned up to simulate the conditions. They're drinking a lot down here on the sidelines.
They closed this roof. That's a lot of body heat in this place. If this was a house, you'd open up the window for a couple of minutes just to get some fresh air in here.
They could do it here, too, if they wanted to.
2nd and 7 from the 36-yard line. And Romo throws incomplete. Intended for Miles Austin.
You know, it sounds silly to talk about the Heat in a dome-controlled environment, but we went from, in 1981, playing in the coldest game ever played in Cincinnati, 59 below zero in a wind chill in the championship game, to playing indoors in Pontiac in the Super Bowl. And we practiced all week indoors up there in the dome, and we thought we were going to pass out. All of us were sweating, we were cramping up. It's just the contrast sometimes for a cold weather team that gets you.
And it's something you see a lot in the dome stadiums. It's been happening for years, for instance, in Minneapolis at the Metrodome, a place that the Cowboys hope to visit next weekend, and they will with a win. 3rd down and 7. That's caught by Williams, and Williams got away from Samuel and finally gets tackled at the 19 after another Dallas first down. 17-yard pickup.
What a good sign for the Cowboys. If you can take Roy Williams, who really has struggled a bit this season against the Eagles' best corner, and turn him around like that, that does some good things, because the one thing that you know is that Jason Witten is going to get his fair share of double teams. Miles Austin is going to get it. So Roy Williams is going to get one-on-one opportunities. And that time he won the battle.
Last week, Romo targeted Williams once. The pass was incomplete. Tonight, Williams has already caught 3. Off play action. Romo throws. Open is Witten. Can he get to the end zone? Just short. 1st and goal. And Quentin Michael is down. He and Brown are both down after that play.
Oh, for Quentin Michael, looked like he got a bit confused on that one. And one of the issues that I think the Eagles have had all year has been the absence of Brian Dawkins. Their safety play just has not been the same, and Dawkins used to be one of those guys that could line up one-on-one and take away somebody like Witten. And now the Eagles with a bit of a situation with their safety position.
Well, both of their starters, Quentin Michael and Macho Harris, are out. Quentin Demps, another safety, inactive tonight. Brown comes to the bench. You know about the linebacking merry-go-round, so that defense right now, a mess.
And on the opposing sideline, you have the healthiest team in football. Not one guy on injured reserve.
1st and goal. So Dimitri Patterson comes in at a corner spot. He's number 23. And Philadelphia is going to take a timeout. One of the reasons the Eagles called a timeout was to enable Quentin Michael and/or Brown to get back in the game. Brown can't, but Michael can. had they not called the timeout, because the time was taken because of the injuries to both of them, they would have had to sit out at least one play. But by taking the timeout, they enable Michael to get back in the game. Brown is still trying to shake it off on the sideline. And now Romo on a 1st and goal from inside the 1-yard line. And they try to run it in with Tashard Choice and do. Touchdown Cowboys. And for Wade Phillips, he's never made a more important challenge. They get the interception overturned, maintain possession, and go 85 yards in 10 plays.
And I know the score still looks close, but it feels like it's a bit of a mismatch to this point.
Doesn't it? Dallas 174 yards, Philly 95 with 76 of those on that one play. The Vic touchdown to Macklin. Sean Sweezum for the extra point. And with 9:14 left in the opening half, it's Dallas 14, Philadelphia 7.
The big guys up front got it done here. Kyle Kozar, Andre Gerard, just overpowering at the point of attack. That is a lot of beef lining up in the middle there for the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles trying to submarine and go underneath them, but the Cowboys up front dug them out of there, and Romo knows exactly what this one means to him, to Wade Phillips, and the Dallas Cowboys. So look at the interception that got overturned that started this drive, just that close for the Philadelphia Eagles to having the ball on the 10-yard line going in.
The near pick by Sean Jones. Phillips with the challenge, Dallas with the lead, 14-7. 9:14 remaining in the opening half. David Beeler will kick off. They drafted Beeler out of USC in the 5th round, and they drafted him for field position. Here's a guy that kicks deep into the end zone. 29 touchbacks this season, almost 2 per game. Macklin is back to receive this one. 5 yards in, and he takes a knee, and that's exactly why they picked Beeler. They lost in mid-year to Dallas and followed that up with a loss to San Diego, and everybody had to be talked off the ledge in Philadelphia, but won 6 straight and then lost last week. McNabb buys time, and then the pass is incomplete, and a flag does come in. Westbrook looking for it, and they accommodate him.
Pass interference, defense, number 43. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
That is Gerald Sensabaugh. 6 penalties for 50 yards against the Cowboys tonight.
Now Sensabaugh is going to see as McNabb scrambles around here what's happening underneath, and he's going to try and time this one out. Just gets there a fraction early. A pretty easy call, but probably a good idea at this point to get a veteran like Westbrook involved in this game.
Now they run the inside draw out of the gun with LaShawn McCoy. The Eagles, as people who follow the sport know, have been a pass-oriented team in all of Andy Reid's years. Of course, Brian Westbrook has been so much a part of that attack because he's been such a great receiver. But Andy, about 60% of the time, has passed the ball during his career, and even a little bit more in postseason play. 2nd and 4. To the air, if he can get there. And that pass is incomplete. Jenkins breaks it up, intended for Reggie Brown over the middle. 3rd down.
One of the things the Eagles have to be able to do tonight is work against Bobby Carpenter right here with their running back. This time it's LaShawn McCoy. Well, McCoy is not a very polished receiver and doesn't know a lot about the passing game. They've been trying to slowly work him in, but that's been the role of Brian Westbrook. Marcus Ware with a nice inside move against Jason Peters, and McNabb was able to still escape.
Donovan still looking for his first completion. He's 0 for 4 on 3rd and 4. Backing all the way up, throws, and that's complete, but not enough for a first down. Jeremy Macklin makes the catch. Gerald Sensabaugh makes the tackle. It's only good for 2 yards, and it's 4th down.
They brought everybody that time, and Gerald Sensabaugh, they had one of those coverages on the backside where they just sort of read the release, and it just so happened that his guy was Macklin coming out, and I'm sure he wasn't too thrilled about it. Luckily for him, the pressure got there.
Sav Rocca punting in the direction of Creighton. And Creighton from the 10. He's run back 2 for touchdowns this season. And Rock is able to bump him and stop him. The 2 guys who got hurt in the game, Quentin Michael and Sheldon Brown. The ball is at the 41-yard line. First down for Dallas. Here's Romo throwing. He hits Austin in stride, and then Brown is able to corral him, but not before he gets to the 21-yard line. 36 yards.
What a tremendous read that time by Tony Romo. You're going to see the safety come out of the middle. Romo saw it, hits the slant for the big play. Sometimes you try and get cute back there in the secondary. Here you go. We're going to come right out to the left-hand side, and there's nobody left in the middle. But Tony Romo took a shot right in the chops as he threw it, but he read it perfectly.
Tony Romo, the quarterback, leading the league in yards after the catch from his receivers, and a prime example right there from the 23-yard line. Here's Tony again, chased from behind, and that pass is incomplete to Deion Anderson, who was falling down as he tried to catch it. 2nd down and 10. Jaquay Parker put the heat on Tony that time. Here's the QB comparison right now. Romo with 166 yards and a touchdown. Donovan McNabb 1 of 5 for those 2 yards, and of course the Philadelphia offense tonight was the one Michael Vick play, the 76-yard touchdown pass to Macklin.
And you have to give credit to the Cowboys defensively. They're picking up right where they left off a week ago, and so far the Eagles unable to do anything with it.
2nd and 10 from the 23. Felix Jones. No game.
We're starting to see a lot more of Felix Jones here in the postseason. He's a guy that, without question, the most explosive of the backs. They sort of hold him out a little bit during the regular season. He had some injuries. They want to make sure he's ready for the playoffs, and he has certainly delivered some big plays for them, but they sort of rotate between Marion Barber and Felix Jones and Tashard Choice.
As Chris mentioned, using him more and more, he averages 5.9 yards a carry. And now Dallas going 4 wide, and the pass is caught by Williams, and Williams goes down at the 6-yard line, tackled by Brown. So Roy Williams, a total non-factor last week. Tonight, a huge factor. That's 4 catches for 56 yards for him.
You can't double everybody, and so far they've been trying to single up Roy Williams on the outside here. Nice little move cutting back to the inside, and Sheldon Brown and Asante Samuels both having problems with Roy Williams, who makes a nice catch. He's had a few drops here the last few weeks. Hasn't been much of a factor, only a couple of catches over the last 3 games, but now that the bright lights are on, he's coming up big.
Ticking down to 5 minutes to go in the half. Play clock is down to 0. And the Eagles, there's Hansen saying, hey, look at the clock. It should be a delay of game, and it is.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Took the officiating crew an extra second and a half, but the delay, Hansen was alert to spot the play clock and say, look at that, it's at 0.
Well, it's a pretty good game. They're probably watching it too.
Right.
Kind of interesting out here.
Very similar to last week. First half time of possession. 19 minutes tonight to less than 6 for the Eagles. Now it's 1st and goal from the 11-yard line. Romo hanging in the pocket, throwing, and that pass intended for Williams is incomplete. Sean Jones came in on a safety blitz to force it, 2nd down and goal.
I'll say this for Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator. He has not stopped blitzing in this one. He was criticized a week ago. Going to bring the blitz right off the corner here. And Romo really didn't see it until pretty late as they try and stunt everybody down inside to create a little extra space for him. And Sean Jones almost got there.
2nd and goal. Fake to Jones, pass to Williams, and then he falls down. Slips down at the 8-yard line. Jaquay Parker was there with him. So he tries to make the move and goes to the turf as he makes his 5th catch of the night. 3rd and goal.
Well, that one wasn't so good by Roy Williams. This one should have been a walk-in touchdown here. They had the lead blocker out in front. He keeps his feet. He probably strolls in. Maybe he just saw Jaquay Parker running at him, but that was an opportunity, and that's the play that has really hurt the Eagles when they tried to blitz down here in the red zone.
Romo very effective on 3rd down with 5 completions, all for 1st downs. 3rd down and goal from the 8. And Tony throws to the back of the end zone and too high and too far. Samuel covering Williams on the play, and it's 4th and goal, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt from Sean Sweezum. And what a drama this has been this year. 2 years ago, Nick Folk was a Pro Bowl kicker. Okay last year, and then this year a lot of misses. Meanwhile, Sweezum, who had started with the Cowboys in the middle of the decade, goes to Washington, and he loses his job with some big misses, including one that would have won the game against New Orleans. He missed 2 in this stadium as a Redskin, and now he'll try to kick a 26-yarder to make it a 10-point game. Romo to hold it, and the kick is good. Sweezum tacks on 3, but you can see it on the horizon. It's incredible.
Nothing like it.
And there is Beeler doing his job again with a touchback. He had almost 2 per game during the season. This year with McNabb against Dallas, the 2 games, and again they only scored 1 touchdown. He threw 16 times to Macklin and only connected 6 times. With Jackson, he connected less than half of the time. With Selleck a little bit better with 10 receptions. Selleck tonight got hurt early on, then came back in, but they've completed only 1 pass, or 2 passes, both to Macklin, 1 by Vick and 1 by McNabb. Nobody else has caught a ball. Here's McNabb under pressure, gets away from Ware, throwing deep downfield, and that's incomplete. Intended for Deshaun Jackson. Good coverage, sensible back there to be 2nd down and 10.
Well, we're seeing a lot of double coverage on these tremendous young receivers in the secondary, and unfortunately McNabb just has nowhere to go with the ball. Mike Jenkins on the outside with Macklin with safety help over the top, but he also had Terrence Newman falling back in. Once Jackson hit this crossing route, then Terrence Newman fell back and helped. And DeMarcus Ware, meanwhile, making life tough on McNabb.
And here you have Vick in the game, and you can tell everybody sees it. They all stand. Vick, this time it's a handoff that gets fumbled. Loose ball. Cowboys think they have it. Hockley will try to get to the bottom of the pile. Cowboys running away as if they'll have it, and they will. Bobby Carpenter, who was their #1 pick in 06, comes up with a recovery.
And Anthony Spencer really makes this play. He's going to loop inside, and watch Weaver pull away from the handoff when he sees Spencer. He starts to try and pull out of there, and you don't know as the running back, was Mike Vick going to pull it out of there and run it himself? It's a read play. Instead, the fumble happens, and it is not good for Philadelphia.
So Michael Vick has been in for 2 plays, and they're the 2 biggest plays of the game for the Eagles. From the 18-yard line, Felix Jones is the running back. Jones to the outside, turns it back upfield, wrestled down to the 4, 1st and goal. He got away from Sheldon Brown. Grant threw a Brown tackle, and then Jones gets him after a gain of 13.
One of the toughest parts for the Philadelphia Eagles, they keep wanting to bring these blitzes, and when they do, there's no pursuit on the outside. And so once you bounce it out there, there's nobody there to run this thing down. The only guy left was Sean Jones on the outside. It's exactly how the Cowboys made big plays in the run a week ago.
Brown comes limping off. Dimitri Patterson comes limping off. Two corners, Hansen in at one spot. First and goal from the 5. And they will stand Jones up at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be second and goal. It's Jeremiah Trotter, the middle linebacker, making the stop.
So many times wide receivers have to make good blocks as well. Check out Miles Austin. Watch this crack back here. How did he get outside? That's how he did. Put Quentin Michael on his back.
Now back to the 6. Second down and goal. And the next play will be run on the other side of the 2-minute warning. They're on center stage tonight. It is second down and goal from the 6-yard line. Romo off play action. Throws to the outside. Touchdown, Miles Austin. Three plays, 18 yards after the fumble. Sweezem for the point after. And the Dallas Cowboys, coming off a shutout win over the Eagles last week, back in business again. It is 24-7 with 1:55 left in the half.
John Phillips is going to come across here, and as Will Witherspoon goes with him, John Phillips is going to block Witherspoon right into the cornerback and effectively take them both out of the play. But that quick screen to the wide receivers, it's amazing that one play can just continually beat a team over and over and over again. But with Asante Samuel playing back into the end zone in coverage, and Tony Romo gives Ed Hockley a little congratulations as well. That Mike Vick play looms large. You're thinking how desperate they were to get some points on the board before the half, and instead you turn it around and give the Cowboys a touchdown.
Giveth and taketh.
Yep.
His first play resulting in the only Philadelphia touchdown, and really the only thing resembling any offense at all tonight. And then the fumble. Now Beeler, whose last two kickoffs have been touchbacks. And this one will be fielded at the 5-yard line by Jeremy Maclin. And Maclin is stopped by Alan Ball at the 25-yard line.
Let's go back to that Mike Vick fumble for just a minute. The key is right here, DeMarcus Ware. If he comes down, then Mike Vick's supposed to pull this thing out and run it. But he stays out there, so really Vick should have just handed the football off at that point. But because of Anthony Spencer, Leonard Weaver pulled away. But you can see Mike Vick, he's not even looking at the handoff. He's reading DeMarcus Ware on the outside. Weaver sees Spencer and says, I'll go this way instead, and the ball goes on the ground.
From the 25 now, McNabb throwing and reaching for it and making the catch. He goes to Jason Avant. He makes his first grab of the night, and for McNabb, only his second completion of the half.
And so far for Donovan McNabb, his best moment came running out of the tunnel, scaring that one fan.
Yep.
He hasn't scared anybody on the Cowboys defense yet.
The Eagles have 2 timeouts left. And it's a low snap, and he picks the ball up, avoids the sack for the moment, and then just throws it away. And that was the problem last week with a new center. A flag is also thrown on the play. They lost Jamal Jackson in the Denver game 2 weeks ago, And Nick Cole is the center.
And Nick Cole.
Ineligible player downfield, offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Nick Cole taking over for Jamal Jackson at center, and this one, he's got a low center of gravity anyway. I think he must have thought Donovan McNabb was under center. A little luckier this time.
And that was a very big fumble coming in the first half last week. And now you've got an incomplete pass. You had Westbrook coming out of the backfield, and he was shadowed by DeMarcus Ware.
Really clever play that time by DeMarcus Ware. He saw this coming the whole way out here on the outside. Peters with that wide set. Ware says, I know what that means. That's screen, and he falls right off on Westbrook.
Well, the crowd is responding to what was on the big video board, a shot of Emmitt Smith leading the crowd, leading the cheers, and there's Romo looking up at it. Emmitt sitting in Jerry Jones's box tonight. 2nd down and 15 at the 32-yard line. And McNabb under pressure again with a shoulder shake. He gets it to Avant, and Avant trying to get out of bounds and does at the 48-yard line. 1st down, Philadelphia.
One of the things that I thought was really key for Donovan McNabb tonight was having the ability to move around, buy a little time, and let these receivers work down the field. That time you saw a couple of the guys beginning to get open down the field, but watch this movement. As he scrambles, he buys a little time for those receivers to keep working, because so far they have not been able to get open on their own.
61 seconds. 2 timeouts left for Philadelphia. McNabb throwing, completes it again. The ball is loose this time. Weaver drops it, and it's Brady James who recovers it. Leonard Weaver may be going to the Pro Bowl, but the botched handoff from Vick, and now the fumble here, and Dallas has the ball again.
I don't think there's any question. Do you, Al? Looked like he caught it. Sort of took a couple of hop steps there.
We're inside 2 minutes, so any review comes from upstairs.
Fumbled and recovered by Dallas. 1st down.
Not much to review.
No, that's a no-brainer there. And I tell you, this double coverage has really frustrated these Eagles receivers, so they're forced to dump the ball off to these backs and tight ends, and so far they've been unable to make the play. And boy, if they had Brian Westbrook from 2 or 3 years ago, Brian Westbrook, he would be having a field day.
That the pass was complete.
Well, they're going to review it. I'm not quite sure why that needs another look, unless there's something there that we haven't showed you. Does he have control of the ball? Both feet down. He does.
And Brady James, who had the shot at the interception a little bit earlier in the game, came up with the big play on that one. And defensively, boy, for the past month or so, we have just seen this Cowboys defense continue to make play after play. Let's remember now, this Eagles offense has been one of the best in football until they started playing the Cowboys in back-to-back weeks.
This is pretty clear. I mean, I don't see how this gets overturned. Meanwhile, the man on the left, he's also become the defensive coordinator this year. I mean, one of the things that Wade Phillips did after last season, and they made a lot of changes here, is he took over the defense. Of course, that's his pedigree.
No question about it. And this team, since he's taken over, has gotten more sacks than any other team in football. He did the same thing in San Diego when he was there. And Jerry Jones is getting very, very comfortable with what he has with Wade Phillips on the defensive side. Jason Garrett has shown great improvement on the offensive side, and all they need is a win.
Hockley.
The pass was caught. The receiver took 3 steps before he fumbled the ball, and it was recovered by Dallas. The ruling on the field is confirmed. It's Dallas's ball, 1st down.
Last year, the coordinator at Dallas, ironically, was that man, Brian Stewart. And Wade had to let him go, and he winds up with Andy Reid, special assistant, the defense now with Philadelphia.
And part of that was Jerry Jones insisting that Wade Phillips take over as the defensive coordinator. That was why he hired him in the first place.
From the 42-yard line. Blitz coming. Witten, and he will get out of bounds. And one thing about Jerry Jones, if he has an idea, he will implement it. He wanted him to do that. I remember when Barry Switzer left, and Jerry wanted, at that time, a coach to call his own plays. So that's why he brought Chan Gailey in, because he wanted his head coach to be an offensive coordinator. And then after Gailey left, he went defense. He went with Dave Campo. Then he went with Bill Parcells, and then he stays with defense with Wade Phillips.
Well, he's got the combination he likes right now, but he had to see it to believe it. He was pretty open. He wasn't going to guarantee Wade Phillips anything until he saw him win a playoff game.
Still hasn't, yeah. Second down and 10 from the 42. And that pass is thrown away. And, of course, there's always a subplot in a game like this and a lot of drama and angst around everything that happens in the National Football League. So the question is, does Phillips have to win this game to remain? A flag is down.
There's a little skirmish down there involving Asante Samuel.
Unsportsmanlike conduct defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Little after-hours stuff from Samuel for the personal foul, making it a first down and 10 now at the 43. But the question is, coming into the game, does Phillips have to win the game to remain as coach? If the Eagles lose, you know, in Philadelphia, they're always talking about, will Donovan McNabb be back? That's just an ongoing deal. Yeah. Donovan tried to defuse it this week by saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here for years.
Yeah, and he is under contract. I asked Andy that very question last night, and he said, you know, hey, he got an extension. He's under contract. He's not going anywhere, and he's our quarterback.
Through next year anyway, under contract. Reed longer. Andy got an extension for a couple of more years during the season. First and 10 now at the 43-yard line. And Romo's pass is a one-hopper to Austin. But Chris, when it's the Cowboys and the Eagles, when it's the NFC East, you know there are a million subplots.
Oh, there's always some subplots, but for the Dallas Cowboys, it has been a long, long time since they've been able to win a playoff game. One of the most successful franchises, more division titles, more playoff games, and yet it has been pretty tough here lately for this football team. They look to be in great position now, but I've seen Wade Phillips look like he was in great position other places where it didn't work out either. But miracle in the Music City immediately comes to mind.
Second down and 10. He was on the other side of that one in Tennessee. There's a flag thrown. Witten makes the catch, and for the moment has a Dallas first down pending the penalty.
Holding, offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
It's Leonard Davis. Third Pro Bowl is in his future, but right now it's a 10-yard walk back.
Davis right there. Well, a lot of times you can grab those shoulder pads and interior line play, but when the defensive tackle gets turned sideways and Ed Hockley gets a good look, a little tougher to get away with it.
13 penalties in the game, 5 for 89 yards against Philadelphia, 8 for 65 against Dallas. And on second and 20, Romo buying time, stepping away, still spinning, looking for choice. Here's another flag.
That's offensive.
And another flag comes in from deep in the secondary. Quentin Michael with the coverage, and Tashard Choice, the intended receiver.
Great job by Romo buying time, but just looked like Tashard Choice threw a block out there on Quentin Michael as the ball came in there. It's one thing if you're going for the ball, and I think he would have gotten the call in that case, but he kind of just threw his forearms right into Michael.
Pass interference, defense,
wow.
number 27. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
And Michael not looking for the ball.
Kind of hard to see from that angle. See, kind of just gave him a shove, and I guess they're going to say that Michael's the one that initiated the contact.
14 total penalties in the half for 166 yards. 101 of those against Philadelphia. Dallas with all of its timeouts, but only 20 seconds and ticking down, and that one is thrown into the arms of Quentin Michael, incomplete. Second down and 10.
Yeah, Romo got away with one a little bit there. It looked like Michael was just coming off a block, and the ball really hit him in the arm. And it was one of those, if you need sort of a miracle play to get your team back into it, you'll see Michael coming on a blitz out of the secondary. And as he hits the shard choice, the ball is going to bounce right off his arm. An opportunity, but as most of the game has gone so far, it didn't work out for the Eagles.
That was the play they needed. Second down and 10. Romo trying to get him into field goal range at worst. And now he hits Creighton. Creighton will get taken down at the 34-yard line. Timeout Dallas with a dozen seconds left. Now it'll be third down and 4. Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach, talking about Sweezum before the game and telling Andrea his range 51 yards. And there is Joe, who's had quite a season. He was injured when the bubble collapsed here in a thunderstorm in May. Has to sleep upright in a chair. Then before the Washington game 2 weeks ago, he's ready to go to the stadium. Has an appendix attack. He's in the hospital. They take his appendix out. When he comes out, they put him in a room, and what does he hear? He hears Faith Hill with the Sunday night theme going, what am I doing here?
Well, Joe is, I tell you, he has in many ways been the inspiration of the Dallas Cowboys this year. Had that horrible accident when the bubble collapsed, and he was right back out and work just a few weeks later. And everybody will tell you, the players are going, well, what hurts on me that could be worse than what's hurting on Joe right now?
Yeah, son-in-law of Dan Reeves, who's here tonight, announcing the game on radio. Third down and 4 from the 35-yard line. And now Romo throws, and that will be caught at the 32-yard line. That is Ogletree, and they'll take a timeout here with 7 seconds. The reason Romo is holding is because they had Matt McBriar, and that wasn't working out for Nick Folk. And then Sweezum felt more comfortable with Romo. And we all remember what happened to Tony in the playoff game in Seattle following the 06 season. The botched hold. He almost was able to run it in for a touchdown, but got tackled by Jonathan Babineau. And we asked Tony about holding. He said, hey, look, he said, I guess I'm the best guy to do this. I don't want to hurt the team and have somebody else come in.
Yeah, the one thing that people forget about Tony Romo is that he led him on a brilliant drive to set up that short field goal. So quarterback-wise, he did the job. It was as a holder that he failed.
This will be a 48-yard attempt. And Sweezum's kick is good.
How you feeling about the Dallas Cowboys right now?
Well, we talked about it at the beginning. As you look at Tony Romo with the perfect hold right here, gets the laces away and Sweezum boots it through. And a lot of people, the way Minnesota and New Orleans finished the regular season, and one of those New Orleans losses was, of course, to Dallas in the Superdome. A lot of folks feel that the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the conference.
A lot of people wearing stars smiling after this half.
Yep.
It really, for the Philadelphia Eagles, but for that one play by Mike Vick, this would be humiliating at this point.
Right. McNabb 4 of 10 for 39 yards. Deshaun Jackson has not caught a pass tonight. The running game has been next to non-existent. Total offense for Philadelphia 140 yards, 76 of those on the Vick play.
And one of the problems you have for the Philadelphia Eagles, they haven't had a 100-yard rusher all season. You're one-dimensional coming into the game. So Wade Phillips and company, they know what you're going to do.
David Beeler, and this time he will send a ground ball to the 50-yard line, and this is Mays. He'll get tackled at the 45, and that'll do it for the first half. A lot of success, but right now a big mountain to climb. Philadelphia will get the ball after Beeler sends this one into the end zone for his third touchback of the night. And let's check in with Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Well, Al, Eagles players walking off the field with their heads hanging low, streaming words of, "We got to execute." Now, Dallas secondary coach Dave Campo told me our guys know each other, both teams. He said our players have just been in the right position, as evidenced by the fact Deshaun Jackson, 0 receptions in the first half. Wade Phillips told me, he said to the team at halftime, more of the same, just finish.
Just finish, 30 minutes to finish. There's Jackson, blank tonight. McNabb has completed only 4 passes for 39 yards, 4 of 10. And he begins here by throwing one to the outside, and that's a broken tackle. And that is Brent Selleck, who starts with a 20-yard gain after Gerald Sensabaugh had a chance to hold him to a 3-yard gain. First half numbers, and again the 140 for Philadelphia, 76 on the Vic to Macklin play, and the 2 big turnovers. And time of possession, of course, hugely tilted toward Dallas by almost a 3-to-1 ratio. First and 10. They give the ball this time to Weaver. Weaver picks up 3. To the quarterback comparison we go. Good first half for Tony Romo. 203 yards in the half alone. A forgettable first half for McNabb, and for Vic, 101 for 76.
But McNabb has had 17 passes of over 40 yards, tied for most in the league this year. But they have had their deep threats taken away with this double coverage.
2nd and 7. And they'll run it this time on 2nd and 7. And Anthony Spencer is right there to bottle up McCoy and knock him down as he reaches the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Anthony Spencer has been a nightmare with this little loop inside that he's been doing for the most part out here. He's coming in here and just going to loop back inside. It's the same thing that messed up Weaver on that fumble. And here this time he just makes that one look easy.
3rd and 9. And McNabb has that one tipped, and that is incomplete. And that's Ken Hamlin, the defensive back, who came charging in to get a hand on it. 4th down.
Really nice job that time by Ken Hamlin. He gets blocked initially by McCoy right here, but he gets back up and gets his hands up, and McNabb, who gets a lot of balls knocked down at the line of scrimmage, got another one.
In fact, he led the league in that dubious department for starting quarterbacks. He had 21 deflected at the line during the regular season. Here's Sav Rocket, a punt. It's a good kick that bounces at the 5 and then goes sideways, but does go into the end zone before it comes back out. Some of the Super Bowls were held at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena that drew around 100. 1st and 10 now from the 20-yard line. And this is Felix Jones, speaking of the Super Bowl that will be held in this stadium next year. This year, or next month, Miami, and that's where the Cowboys hope to wind up.
The Cowboys might end up in the Super Bowl this year. They keep playing like this. Watch Tony Romo here on these draws. You've seen that quick screen to the wide receiver really give the Eagles fits. So now he's coming out faking it and then handing off on the draw. He does a great job with his play fakes and making the defense believe one thing and then doing something else.
2nd and 4 from the 26. They run that draw. That delay. 2-yard gain for Jones here. 3rd down. 3rd and short.
And you know what that does? You saw Tony Romo do the exact same thing again. And what it does is it freezes the linebackers. They don't know if they have to go out and play the quick screen or not. So they just hesitate there, which allows the offensive linemen to get up on the defenders and create a little bit of space. Watch these linebackers here. They're just going to hesitate, and all of a sudden Flozell Adams gets down and is able to make a block on the back.
3rd and 2. And middle, and that's incomplete, and the Philly defense does its work. Pass intended for Patrick Creighton.
And the score is going to indicate that the Phillies defense has had a pretty rough half here so far, but I really don't see it that way. It's been all the mistakes on the offensive side. They've tried to go no huddle. They've created short fields. They just haven't been able to take care of any opportunities. And here's the guy that has to make a play. Deshaun Jackson has been their big play guy all season.
Averaging 15.2 per punt return. This is a beautiful kick by McBriar. Jackson able to stay in bounds, but not much room to roam. A flag is down. Out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Penalty marker at midfield. At Hercules Mike will need a new battery here very shortly.
A member of the kicking team was illegally downfield before the kick, number 89. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick return, 5 yards, first down.
In his 10 years prior to this one in Philadelphia, Andy Reid, when he gets his team into the wild card round, 4-0. If their first game is in the divisional round, 3-0. But the problem becomes later on, 1-4 in the NFC Championship games, and 0-1 in the Super Bowl. And a false start here, or offside against
offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty.
Jason Peters.
First down.
Jason Peters has really done a pretty nice job tonight on DeMarcus Ware, and one of the keys for him is when you watch him on tape, he really gets off the ball quickly. Now, this is a little too quickly here, but he is one of those snap count guys. He pays attention to that and tries to use it to his advantage, because when you're playing against DeMarcus Ware, you have to get out of that stance.
Each of those guys will go to the Pro Bowl. Each of these teams with 6 guys going to the Pro Bowl. First and 15, and McNabb for Jackson, and it's broken up as he drew a crowd. 3 Cowboys are back there, including Jenkins, who gets hurt on the play. Terrence Newman there as well.
You know, this is about the second or third time I've seen this. This is the right route. They're going to the post against this double coverage, but what's happening, the flaw in this route is that on the other side, when Jeremy Maclin runs a shallow cross, it frees up the backside corner to come over and make the play. And so the route by design is leading to triple coverage instead of the double coverage they're anticipating.
So Jenkins comes out. He took a shot, took his helmet off immediately. Alan Wall spells him for a moment. 2nd and 15. And here is Jackson, and he gets taken down by Scandrick. Jenkins comes back in. It's 3rd down and 11 from the 23. McNabb with time. Throws, and this time it is at the 37-yard line and caught by Maclin.
There's just a huge cushion on the outside by these Cowboys corners. They don't care if you hit these out routes. Mike Jenkins is simply going to allow this to happen. He slips a little bit and falls here, but this is what the Eagles now have to do. You have to take what they're giving him. You see Wade Phillips going, please just stand up and make a play.
It's a great take from the 38. It's Peters moving again.
False start offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, it's first down.
And Herman's with him as well. 111 yards in penalties against Philadelphia tonight. Almost twice what they've averaged for a full game this season. First and 15. And that's knocked away by Anthony Spencer, the emerging star, intended for McCoy.
Anthony Spencer has really come up big so far, and really the past 6 weeks he's been playing as well as anybody. Takes Winston Justice and sort of bull rushes him back and then jumps and makes the play. the balance that Anthony Spencer has given this defense on the other side of DeMarcus Ware has been so key. Now you can't double either one of them.
2nd and 15. Run it. The rookie McCoy. And McCoy with a nice sprint to the outside up to the 48-yard line, forced out by Terrence Newman, close to a first down.
For Eagles fans who don't know what that is, that's a run.
Yeah, a successful one.
Yeah, I mean, this team, let's face it, they're going to live and die by the pass, and sometimes, boy, it really helps to slow down those pass rushers every once in a while with a running play. McCoy had some pretty good success the first game against the Dallas Cowboys running the ball, but last week against the Cowboys, just 10 carries total running the football.
3rd and 1, they put their short yardage back, Eldra Buckley in the game. They fake it to him. That buys a lot of time, and McNabb makes it pay off with a first down pass to Alex Smith, the number 2 tight end, and the ball is in Dallas territory at the 44-yard line.
Boy, I tell you what, Eldra Buckley's coming out here to play. Watch this young man right here with this block. That's the first 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 pass the Eagles have completed all season long. They were 0 for 5 coming into this game. That was number 1.
Laid out Igor Olshansky on that play, did Buckley. The tight formation out of the shotgun. Ball is handed off to Leonard Weaver to the 42. So we've seen Weaver and McCoy and not very much of Brian Westbrook, and we talked about him earlier. Westbrook missing 8 games this season, 2 concussions, missed an earlier game with a knee injury, and the question becomes right now, will Brian Westbrook be in a Philadelphia uniform next year?
He has been such a great player. Enjoyed watching him for years, and certainly hope this all season goes well for him.
2nd down and 7 from the 42. Pressure from behind. McNabb gets it away, and that pass is incomplete. DeMarcus Ware coming in to put the heat on Donovan. 3rd down.
Well, that time you see what these outside linebackers can do. On one side, DeMarcus Ware gets down low and gets the pressure, forcing McNabb out. And on the other side, Anthony Spencer ends up dropping off in coverage on the very speedy LaShawn McCoy. When you have that kind of versatility out of your outside linebackers, you can do a lot of things as a defensive coordinator.
3rd and 7. McNabb. The secondary does a great job, and that allows Anthony Spencer to get to McNabb after he initially had time. Ware gets in there as well, and they'll punt.
It's just a coverage sack is really all it is. 2 guys on the outside, Orlando Scandrick. Maybe Yvonne had a little bit of an opening, but they're really just, it's just a 2-man route. He's only playing one way, and when he didn't like either one of them, he had to pull it down.
This will be Sav Rocca's 5th punt of the night. Nose down punt to try to get some backspin, fair caught by Creighton. From the 12-yard line, they run the draw to Choice. I guess he actually says terrible, terrible.
Terrible.
Either one.
That is one funny man. That's going to be a great show tonight.
2nd down and 8. Longest postseason losing streaks. The Cowboys trying to get off that list and leave it to the Lions in Kansas City. No NFL team has ever lost 7 postseason games in a row. Last win for the Cowboys following the 96 season, 40-15 over the Minnesota Vikings. Barry Switzer, head coach. And there's Wade's mark. Best regular season win, minimum 100 games for a guy who hasn't won a playoff game. Set up the bubble screen here to Miles Austin up to the 17-yard line. He goes, tackled by Patterson. 3rd and 4.
It's really pretty amazing on that play to watch those big offensive linemen get out in front of that play. The Eagles, they know it's coming, but watch the linemen pull out in front of this thing. They don't really care if they hit you in the front or hit you in the back or what do? They're just going to hit something, and that play has been a headache. It has definitely intimidated the Eagles a little bit with all their interior blitzing that they started the game doing.
3rd and 4. Tony Romo says timeout. Cowboys Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Inaugural season for the Cowboys. After a timeout, it's 3rd down and 4. Eagles defense shifting. Romo stepping up, gets jostled, but gets it away. It's caught by Creighton. He takes it to the 28-yard line. That is a 1st down. And the Eagles taking shot after shot. Brown has just been a mess tonight. Coming in and out, off the field, taking a lot of pounding. Guy's never missed a game.
One of the problems you have when you rush just 3 guys is it gives wide receivers like Patrick Creighton a lot of time to move around and just find a hole. You're only going to bring 3 here. They've been blitzing all night. Pretty clever route there by Creighton, sort of getting lost in behind Witherspoon. But Tony Romo, with his ability to buy time, is just going to make it tough for you to sit back in zone defenses and make plays. That has been that in his quick release. I think Tony Romo's ability to move, make plays, but maybe even more than that, his ability to get the ball out of his hands when he sees something. He has about as quick release as any quarterback I've ever seen. I've seen comparisons with him and Marino. They're pretty comparable.
Sheldon Brown now just getting up, and he has taken a pounding tonight.
He's had a good year. Sheldon Brown sure has. He's been beaten a few times on double moves and the such against the Dallas Cowboys this year, but overall, most of the Eagles people you talk to say it's one of his better years.
There's Rogelio Hansen. In Brown's spot, 1st and 10 from the 40s to the 27-yard line. Jones off to the races. Jones cuts inside of Hansen. Samuel has an angle on him, but he runs away from Asante for a touchdown. 73 yards. Longest run in Cowboys postseason history. Big smile from Wade Phillips for a guy who they describe in Dallas with one word: explosive.
Down, pull Leonard Davis out. Look at the secondary. Nobody in behind. They're playing man coverage as they try to blitz. And when you pop one against that, look out. That Felix Jones is something in the open field.
Jones now with 134 yards after that 73-yard romp. About a half mile away from the ballpark at Arlington, home of the Texas Rangers. Beeler's boot. 3-yard line. Here's Macklin to the 25-yard line. Well, before the game, Keith Brooking, longtime Atlanta Falcon, brought over here in the offseason. Here's how he tried to stir his team up.
Let's let them shine, baby. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we know what we're doing next. Yeah. We're going to hit him in the mouth. Yeah. We're going to bloody end nose. Yeah. We're going to knock him to the ground. Yeah. Hold up there. What's the last thing we're going to do? We're going to step on that
He did that before a Sunday night game in Washington 2 weeks ago, and his wife saw it on television and said, "I don't even know who you are." This is Reggie Brown, and the pass hit the turf, incomplete.
Well, let me tell everybody who he is. At one practice early this year, there was a player, I won't tell you who it was, but made a mistake in the secondary. And Brooking turned around and screamed at him and told him to get it right and don't make that mistake again. And the player popped off back at Brooking. Brooking didn't say anything because they had to run the next play. After that play was over, he went back and punched him in the head. The message was delivered. There was a new sheriff in town.
Second down and 10. You saw only Cowboy to have played in the Super Bowl, did that with the Falcons over a decade ago, and McNabb throws, and that's going to be intercepted at the 49-yard line by Jenkins. And then Jenkins is going to lose the ball. He's going to have that removed from him, and Philadelphia's going to wind up with the football. So Jenkins had the interception, and then winding up with it, Reggie Brown at the end of the play. So that would have been the total kill shot for Dallas, and Philadelphia still has a little bit of life because of the Jenkins fumble.
Well, Mike Jenkins out working on Reggie Brown, but this ball is really overthrown. He was trying to go to the crossing route underneath, and it just fell into the lap of Jenkins. And, of course, this is now game over. It probably is anyway, but really no reason to do this. Newman, the veteran, shouldn't even have been calling for that one.
And Deshaun Jackson created the fumble, so he gets the ball back for Philadelphia, and it's a first down at the 47-yard line.
Their second best play of the night.
Yeah. Westbrook is the back. And out in the flat it goes to Jackson. Jackson was on Twitter all week long and mildly chiding the Cowboys, and with the night that Deshaun's had tonight, the Cowboys secondary has told Deshaun, tweet this. There it is. Jackson, 2 receptions, Macklin 3. And of course one of those, the big one from Vick, which has been the whole offense, and Selleck's been thrown to only twice. 2nd and 4. Flag before the snap. False start. And then McNabb goes down, and McNabb wants a personal foul. Jason Hatcher throws him to the turf, but there's no flag for a personal foul.
False start offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Jason Peters.
Everything about this game has been personal so far for the Dallas Cowboys. And they have played against their arch rival like they really had something to prove. And the Eagles are going to be playing like they have something to prove next year. This has been an impressive run by the Dallas Cowboys. This is not just against the Eagles. This all started with that huge win over the New Orleans Saints that turned their season around.
2nd down and 9. And McNabb for Selleck, and that's batted away at the last moment by Sensabaugh.
I'll tell you, Gerald Sensabaugh has been a really nice addition to this football team. In earlier games, he's done a great job against the run. He plays man coverage, and when Selleck blocks, he comes up and really supports against the run. When Selleck comes out, he's no match. He is the guy that added the man coverage element. They had Jenkins, they had Newman, they had Skandrick. They didn't have a man coverage guy at the safety position. They do now.
3rd and 9. McNabb has to check it off to Weaver. He is forced out at the 40 by Skandrick. 4th and 2 upcoming.
Well, one of the problems the Eagles have had is with their protection. Look what they're doing out here. They've had to sort of flank their backs out here to just widen the pass rushers and do anything they could to try and slow down these two guys. Unfortunately, what that also does is it prevents you from getting extra guys out in the routes, so you can double team Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Macklin on the outside.
4th and 3. Heavy heat, incomplete. Ken Hamlin came in on the safety blitz. And Dallas gets it back.
The other problem you have was when you flank everybody out in that double wing position, there's nobody to pick up a blitzing safety. McNabb had no chance, did a nice job just getting away, but this has been all Dallas all the time. Wade Phillips, what a brilliant, brilliant job he has done with this defense over the last several weeks.
And the Cowboys used that safety blitz, or that defensive back blitz, less than any team in the league. They only sent a defensive back on 4% of opponents' pass plays this year. League average is about 15. There it is. Pick the right time to do it.
Yes, sir.
From the 41-yard line on first down. Toss to Choice, who has to secure the ball and then goes down into the arms of Jaquay Parker. Here's Andrea.
Well, guys, Marion Barber has not carried the ball since about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. He's got 3 carries for 4 yards total. Now, he came into this game with a bruised left knee, but according to the Cowboys trainer, the official word is they are saying he is eligible to play. Doesn't look like he's coming off the sideline, though.
Interesting. You know, the way this game is gone, they can afford to give him a little extra rest here because Jones has done the job and Choice and, of course, the passing game and all of that. So if he needs a little breather, it's always fun to be up 34-7.
You know, and I'm not so sure this team isn't moving towards Felix Jones as the primary back a little bit.
Second down and 16. And Romo will get taken down by his shirt by Parker, just shy of the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Wade Phillips, I'm getting on that microphone into Tony Romo's helmet and go, listen, big guy, this one feels pretty good right now. We're on a little bit of a roll. You're hot. Let's not lose you in the process of 34-7.
How many of you can name the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, since he hasn't played at all this year? But if they had to go to a backup, he's a guy with a lot of experience, and there is John Kitna. Didn't throw a pass all season. He's thrown a few in his career. 3rd and 11. And that is almost intercepted, and Samuel can't believe it. Easy pick. Incomplete.
Yeah, Roy Williams got to get his head around here. They came with a safety blitz off the side, and so now that turns into a hot read over there, and Roy was just checking out Asante Samuel a little too long and almost cost his quarterback a pick. Now, Roy Williams played really well in the first quarter because he got a lot of single coverage, and that certainly helped everybody else, but he's also had a few of those sail through his hands.
McBriar's punt. And Jackson pinned him to the sideline. 153. Asante Samuel, I don't think Roy Williams deflected it. Hits him right in the face.
I've had a few of those in my day. You know, sometimes it's the last thing in the world that you think a receiver is going to let one kind of go through his hands, and you're thinking more about making the tackle. And he's sort of laughing at himself. He is a smart football player, though. Really is a guy that understands coverage, and when you make a mistake on offense, he takes it the other way for a touchdown.
31 drives the Eagles have had the 2+ games. 2 touchdowns, one of them on the Michael Vick to Macklin pass tonight. 6 turnovers. First down from the 11. And Donovan is going to have to take off, and Brooking will provide an escort out of bounds. Well, the Eagles can't figure out the Cowboys. But you look at the NFC East this year. The Cowboys have owned the Eagles. The Eagles own the Giants. The Giants own the Cowboys. Everybody owned the Redskins.
And you know, it's all the way across the board. We talked about the balance of what Anthony Spencer has done for DeMarcus Ware. Well, these young corners for the Cowboys have really grown up too. Mike Jenkins, Orlando Scandrick. This team is getting better and better. They had 5 new starters on the defense to start this season, and this group is maturing together.
2nd and 5. And making the catch and getting hit immediately is Macklin. Mike Jenkins with the tackle. Forward progress, though, will net him a first down.
Yeah, Mike Jenkins tried to disguise something there, and it probably cost him a touchdown. He had safety help and a cover 2 in behind him, and he really could have jumped that one even sooner. I think he was surprised that McNabb was able to get it in there before he got there.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. And that's caught on the run, and this is Macklin, who will take the ball up to the 47-yard line. And then you got a flag at the end of the play as Macklin runs into the bench area, and Ken Hamlin is there with him.
Oh, it looked like Macklin with a stiff arm out of bounds that Hamlin didn't appreciate. And we're seeing these Eagles receivers getting really frustrated now.
There were fouls by both teams on the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, and a personal foul. The penalty's offset. The play results in a first down.
Watch Macklin here, a little shot at the tail end of it. And now if Hamlin doesn't do anything, it's going to cost the Eagles 15 yards, but sometimes you just react to something like that. A guy gives you a shot to the face, you at least want to say something to him.
From the 48 on first down. The heat is on. They set it up to Westbrook, and Westbrook takes off inside the 30, and Brian Westbrook to the 24-yard line. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter after a 27-yard reception. To the fourth quarter we will go. And we start the fourth quarter in Arlington, Texas. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer. 34-7, the Dallas Cowboys on top. First and 10 for Philadelphia from the 25-yard line. To the outside, Macklin. He gets knocked down by Newman. And in a penalty-filled game, we've got another one. 18 accepted penalties in this game. 9 against each team.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 26. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, that's Ken Hamlin.
Yeah, it's not just this game that started between these two guys. Watch this one last week. Check out Macklin here. He's not even looking for the football. He saw Ken Hamlin running over and didn't even look up, and Hamlin was finishing the fight that happened a few minutes ago. There was the first one. And Hamlin had a little something to say. We offset there. And Hamlin got one more shot there. This is a bitter, bitter rivalry that is gone the other way. You have to know how hot this Philadelphia Eagles team was coming in to play the Cowboys a week ago. 6 in a row and looked like the team to beat, and here comes Mike Vick for another shot.
He's in, and McNabb stays in. McNabb is wide to the right. And Vick under pressure, and that pass is incomplete because Anthony Spencer says, I've seen this act before, and it's not going to happen again.
Well, Nick Cole has had a little bit of a tough time tonight. Let's check out this snap. Kind of grazes off his backside there, and Mike Vick has seen just about enough of Anthony Spencer. Anthony Spencer, I think, has matured as fast as any ball player I've seen. You know, early in the season, he was getting close to sacks, and it didn't really happen. But you talk to the defensive players on this team, they say he is borderline unblockable at times against the run.
6 sacks in his last 6 games. What a bookend he is with DeMarcus Ware. 2nd and goal. And McNabb will go down in the arms of Ware with Hatcher coming in to finish him off totally.
I'll tell you, that inside move by DeMarcus Ware has really been giving Jason Peters fits here, because when Donovan tries to step up, there's just nowhere to go. And the reason, because look at this coverage on the backside of this thing. Orlando Scandrick's had a nice game so far inside against Selleck, and Bobby Carpenter was one of the guys they thought they could get after a little bit. On the other side, we know full well what Mike Jenkins has been doing. He's been brilliant over the second half of the season.
3rd and goal from the 16-yard line. And McNabb with another flag. Out at the 8. Still have flags, even though we're -1 official. The back judge, Kirk Dornan, pulled a muscle, so we're down 1. That doesn't stop these guys.
Defense, Number 97. It's half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Jason Hatcher. Hope Ed Hockley's paying his after dues.
I'll say this, though. It's been, at least the Eagles are still out there playing and still out there fighting. This is a team that just has an answer for them. There's just no question that physically they were unable to hold up unless they blitzed, and the Cowboys had the answer for the blitz.
First and goal. And swung to the outside, and that'll be a touchdown for Deshaun Jackson off a nice move.
The exact same play that the Cowboys have been hitting on the Eagles. Finally, the Eagles turn it around and throw one back at them. Fake that little inside draw play and just sling it out there. Get some blockers in front and let a playmaker have the ball in his hands. Sometimes guys like Deshaun Jackson, you just have to get them the ball and see what they can do with it. Good job by Selleck out in front, too.
Now Akers for the extra point. And that'll make it 34-14.
Well, the Cowboys are up there with their hands team, so they thinking the same way you're thinking.
Repossession lead, but no, they're going to boot it away. And this is Kevin Ogletree who will take it from the goal line back to the 11-yard line. So at least Philadelphia able to keep Dallas deep in its own territory, and the defense will have to do its job here. And we have Moses Foku, who is down at the 25-yard line.
Well, you do have a tough decision now for the Dallas Cowboys, and how willing are you to play open here? Got to be pretty conservative with a 20-point lead.
Coach, quarterback, and owner right now, their team up by 20. Ball is at the 11-yard line, and it becomes pretty imperative for Philadelphia to create a 3-and-out would be good for them, or at least make sure it's a quick, fast drive for Dallas. And Keaton deep, and Romo will start by going to the air and throwing to the outside, and that'll be caught by Miles Austin for a gain of 8 yards.
I tell you, Miles Austin has become a really accomplished receiver. Watch him at the top end of this route come back to his quarterback. Young receivers so often fail to do that, and in a situation like this where obviously you cannot throw an interception, you have to make sure you make good aggressive plays. When a quarterback trusts a receiver to do like that and finish the route like that, he's going to get the ball when others don't.
And then they go to the Wildcat with Tashard Choice on 2nd and 1. And Choice will be short of the first down, so pretty much playing it anything but conservatively with most of the fourth quarter to be played. They start with a pass to the outside, then go Wildcat, and now it's 3rd down and 1.
And a big 3rd down and 1 now, because when you have the kind of quick strike offense that the Philadelphia Eagles have, you never know. I mean, you know, Deshaun Jackson's had, what, 8 touchdowns this year of over 50 yards. McNabb has had a lot of 40-plus pass plays. They could just get the football back.
And make it nervous time. 3rd and 1. Toss back. And that'll get him the first down, as this is Felix Jones up to the 26-yard line to move the chains and eat up some of the clock.
It's the same play they ran last week for a big play, but I want you to watch Jason Witten and how he sets this thing up. Jason Witten right here is going to take one quick step down and get Parker to jump down just enough so that then he can go up, get the cornerback, and Jones can just simply beat Jaquay Parker to the outside. It's the little details of the play that really makes a difference.
Witten's going to get rolled up on here at the end, and he goes off at least for a play. Ball at the 26. Tashard Choice is the running back. And Ronald's Choice is to give it to Choice for a gain of 9.
Oh, here was the exact same play a week ago. Watch him. Little step down inside and then go get the block on the outside. And Felix Jones turned that one into a touchdown. And there's big Doug Free with a hustle play down the field. Doug Free was replaced today by Mark Colombo, who had missed 7 games because of ankle surgery. And Tashard Choice looks like he's either exhausted or got nicked.
But he stays in. We've seen very little of Barber since early in the game. There's Free. 2nd and 1 from the 35. Choice. And that's another first down, and they'll chew up more clock at the 40-yard line.
I tell you, Doug Free, though, is a guy that, when the story of this season for the Cowboys is written, will get a lot of credit in my mind. It's the kind of hustle plays the Cowboys have been making for a month now.
Rode Brown about 20 yards. And now it's Austin, and Samuel puts his shoulder down to make the tackle at the 46-yard line.
Certainly have not been too conservative on this drive, have they? And it really, when you have a quarterback that has played the way that Tony Romo has played for the last month, you trust him the way that some of the superstar quarterbacks in the league get trusted. And for Tony Romo, I think you go back to the Giants game earlier this year where he threw 3 interceptions. He said, I came out of that game and I knew I couldn't get my team beat like that again. And he has been a different guy since then.
2nd down and 4. And running the draw and trying to get that first down is Choice, just short of the 50-yard line, and it looks like he is going to move the chains again.
There's Tony Romo. He's going to fake that quick screen one more time. He got Trent Cole to sort of stand in place, and he was going to jump up and try and knock down the pass. Those little details, Jason Garrett insists on finishing every play, and the big guys up front have just been overwhelming. You have to be a little happy for Flozell Adams, too. Here's a guy that's been here for 12 seasons now and never won a playoff game. The longest stretch by any Cowboys player. And he's been fighting his guts out there tonight.
A little more than 8 minutes away from getting off that schneid. First down at the 50. And the pass goes to Witten, and he will pick up 2 hard-earned yards. Tackled there by Quentin Michael.
Maybe Flozell has a job in the front office after his playing days are over. He had that one right on the button.
2nd down and 7. False start.
False start offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty at 2nd down.
Jason Witten throwing some flags tonight.
Boy, for Wade Phillips, you have to be happy for him, don't you? He's a guy that has been through some torturous moments as a head coach in the playoffs. But he's always the same, doesn't change. He is who he is. He makes no apologies for it. Very low-key guy, but boy, is he respected by the guys on this team, especially those guys on the defensive side. They think he's a genius.
2nd and 12 from the 48. And they bust up the draw. Jones running into Antonio Dixon. And for Wade, if he gets this first win after head coaching stints in Denver, 2 years there, Buffalo, 3 years there, and then he was the interim coach in '85 in New Orleans, '03 in Atlanta, now 3 years in Dallas, and he'll join his dad Bum as the winner of a postseason game. Be the first father-son combination to win playoff games.
Waited 13 years, and I'm only 10 years old.
3rd and 13. And Austin picks up about 10 of those 13 yards before Quentin Michael makes the tackle. But this drive, what it's done is it's eaten up 7.5 minutes. And even though it may result in a punt, this is the kill shot.
Yeah, and it's what you were talking about as far as that onside kick. You know, if you can't stop them defensively, and I guess why would you think you're going to stop them now?
Right.
Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. The monkey is off their back. Look at Steve Young and the pressure he felt. It has been a long time since that star in the middle of the field saw a playoff win.
Here's McBriar to punt. Cowboys will milk every second they can off the play clock. Jackson signals for a fair catch. Makes it at the 10-yard line. No pun intended.
No.
Flying tomato. And McNabb will go down in the arms of Brady James.
Kind of funny how it works sometimes. You come in talking about the Eagles blitz, and it's been the Cowboys blitz here today. It's been the difference. They've really been able to do about anything they wanted. LaShawn McCoy, I think, just simply did not see Brady James coming. He tried to sneak out on the route, and McNabb couldn't sneak anywhere.
The whacks that McNabb has taken tonight. 2nd down and 16. Just does get that one out of the end zone into the arms of McCoy. Up to the 14-yard line. Stephen Bowen will make the tackle.
You know, this offense has been so good for so long this season, and it just came to a screeching halt in 2 weeks against the Cowboys. And you don't know, maybe these young players, Deshaun Jackson, Jason Avant, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Maclin, you don't know if they maybe hit the rookie wall or they just hit the Dallas Cowboys wall. That's probably more like it.
Combo platter.
Yeah.
3rd and 7.
Look out.
And you can see that coming from behind. Carpenter will make the recovery, and DeMarcus Ware with the hammer.
I one time asked DeMarcus Ware, what do you call that play when you run all the way around the tackle and come back in and get the quarterback? He said, I call it a sack. And that's exactly what it was. Here he comes from behind, and great players don't settle for the tackle or the sack. They want the football, and Ware knew exactly what he was doing. Look at that hammer.
The sack fumble.
Never saw it coming.
Nope.
This is one Donovan McNabb would like to forget. Actually, back-to-back weeks, this offense would like to forget. And I tell you what, it is no fluke, though. This Dallas defense, the more I watch them on tape, like, where do you attack? There aren't any holes in it.
That was Carpenter's 2nd fumble recovery of the night. And now Choice will get bottled up, and Dallas can just take as much time off the clock as they can, unless Philadelphia decides here.
You know, one thing that we didn't talk a lot about tonight was Jamal Jackson, the center, getting hurt for the Philadelphia Eagles. And anytime you lose sort of the signal caller up front, just makes it so tough.
And a timeout is taken. After a Philadelphia timeout with under 4 minutes to play, 34-14. A night to forget for McNabb. 16 of 31 for 179 yards, 1 TD and 1 pick. And now Choice will take it to the 19-yard line, and the Eagles will spend another timeout. So the Dallas Cowboys, 3:43 from going up north. Next week it's a Sunday game to face the Vikings, who are undefeated at home this year. Brett Favre will become the oldest quarterback to ever start a postseason game. Great rushing defense, as you know, in Minnesota. Tremendous beginning to the season, and then, Chris, they had a little bit of they stumbled a little bit down the stretch. We saw them against Arizona on a Sunday night. They were beaten. We saw them against Carolina on a Sunday night, and they were beaten. Killed the Giants in the final game. What's your early take on that one next week?
You know, just such a great matchup between Brett Favre and Adrian Peterson and Percy Harvin and Sidney Rice and all those great offensive weapons going against this Dallas defense, because they have been as good as anybody. Came into this one back-to-back shutouts and have been almost that impressive again here tonight.
And the Dallas Cowboys right now as hot as you can get, and it started with that New Orleans game, an underdog going in against the undefeated Saints at that point in New Orleans. And now you've got Felix Jones very close to a first down. So either 4th and inches or a first down, and the clock keeps on ticking down.
You know, it really is remarkable, though, now with Brett Favre and looking back on it, that entire story, the whole idea that Brett Favre was even going to be in the picture so late coming to camp, the last second thing by Brad Childress, and ended up with a remarkable season. I mean, really very much in contention for the MVP race.
And you wonder if Brett's going to come back next year.
I'm not asking him that.
Oh, we already asked him that.
I've heard that story too many times.
That's a first down. By the way, Peyton Manning wins the MVP award. They announced that today. Another one for Peyton. Just another spectacular career, and that's 4 MVP awards for the Colts quarterback.
So I guess that would take Brett out of the MVP race at this point?
For the moment.
Okay.
You never know when there's a recount, though. You know, Dewey beats Truman occasionally. Cowboys dominant on the ground. And for Sean McDermott, a year in which it began with the loss of his middle linebacker in training camp, Stuart Bradley. Ton of injuries. Of course, the Eagle organization mourning the loss of the great assistant coach Jim Johnson, saluted with a decal on the back of their helmets, who died of cancer in the offseason. McDermott, one of his proteges, taking over to the outside. Goes Choice.
He made a bad choice.
Yeah. Flag down.
Holding. Offense number 89. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
John Phillips, who scored a touchdown in the first half tonight.
Yeah, John Phillips did. He grabbed him on the outside. But I'll tell you what, there's enough beef up front for the Dallas Cowboys on their offensive line alone. But then they put in 3 tight ends. And, I mean, it's tough to get off their blocks. Really impressive showing. I mean, going into the New Orleans game, you just have to remember DeMarcus Ware looked like he wasn't going to be able to play in that game. And there wasn't anybody that I knew of that was picking the Cowboys to go in there and win. Ware comes back, has a huge game, a couple of key sacks, and here they are.
Up the middle, Tashard Choice.
Good look at DeMarcus Ware. I really do think in some way, shape, or form that his play in that New Orleans game was really inspirational. You remember he had the neck injury, he was taken off on the flat board, and you didn't know if he'd ever play football again the rest of his life, much less the next weekend. And he comes out there and was sensational, inspired his teammates, and they have just been unstoppable since.
On a 2nd and 34. Not a conventional down and distance. This is Jones. As we come down to 3 minutes remaining in the 4th. Look at that. A postseason record, 228 penalty yards. You don't see that in August. Ed Hockley and the crew go shopping for whistles tomorrow. New ones.
There you go, back early in this game, that interception that was reversed by replay, and how different this thing may have played out.
Yeah, the game was tied at 7, and Philadelphia would have had the ball deep in Dallas territory. And as we come to the 2-minute warning, Choice will take a little extra time on the turf. And the Philadelphia Eagles taking that nonstop flight to the offseason as they head back home. And clock right now is stopped because of the time that Choice needs on the field. Miles is all smiles.
And Tashard had the concussion coming into this one, right?
He did, yep. Yeah.
And you hope that's not what we're dealing with on this one.
Right.
because he certainly gives them a terrific option in that wildcat formation. Excellent hands, really understands pass protections. But the rules are pretty stringent now on those concussions.
I'm not going to speculate, but he did take a shot to the side of the helmet. So he goes to the bench. They wind the clock now once he leaves the field. And this is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. We'll wrap it up for NBC football for this season. Our illustrious producer Fred Godelli and director Drew Esikoff. Chairman Dick Ebersol. Kelly Hayes and George Hill have only worked with me for about 6,000 years, Chris. Kenny Hurd also feeding us all that good information.
Andy Freeland, my good friend, helped me all along. And before I do anything else, I'd like to say, first of all, it's been an honor to work with you. And it's been an honor to sit in John Madden's seat. Well, it really has been. We've missed him. Everybody tells stories every single week on the king of broadcasting, and I've enjoyed all those. But John was so gracious to me and helping me in so many ways. And John, just really appreciate everything you've done for me.
Well, I'm the lucky one because I got Mantle to replace DiMaggio, so that worked out pretty well. Loved it. And that pass is caught for a first down by Brent Selleck up to the 33-yard line, where he's tackled by Keith Brooking. Well, talk radio in Philadelphia this week. The papers in Philly this week.
Will be no different.
Right. What are we talking about? You're right. Incomplete. Intended for Macklin.
Passionate fans. You know, they have heard it all before, and for Andy Reid, he's going to get a little taste, and Donovan will get a little taste of what Jerry Jones is and Wade Phillips and Tony Romo have been hearing over the past several years.
And another tough ending for Jeff Lurie. That last pass was a completed pass, and so is that one to Selleck to the 29-yard line.
You know, it's almost remarkable when you think about how many wins this Eagles team has, how successful they've been in the playoffs, and don't have a Super Bowl to show for it. I mean, it's just remarkable. I think only Indy and New England have more wins, and yet they just can't get over that final hurdle.
Well, that's going to determine the Reid and McNabb legacy. There's no question that pass is incomplete. And as sad as it is in a way, I guess, or as unfair, whatever you want to put it, you know, you do the job. We talked about it during the season about, you know, it's like if you're an Eagle fan, you go to a movie and the movie's pretty good and you're really enjoying it, and then the ending just stinks.
Yeah, but the ending's only good for one team every year. There's Andy Reid. Look at that track record. I mean, we're talking about two of the greatest coaches, two surefire Hall of Fame coaches ahead of them, and that one Super Bowl away is the difference.
And McNabb to launch one, and that's tipped away at the last moment by Newman, intended for Jackson.
Well, they pulled the last trick out of the bag, the old double move on the outside against the old warhorse, Terrence Newman. He was like, yeah, right, I'm going for that in this situation. Newman's health this year, though, he missed 9 games over the last couple of seasons, and the fact that he's been able to stay healthy, Mike Jenkins has played so well, has really made a difference.
3rd and 10. And now it's 4th down.
But for Wade Phillips and Tony Romo and Jerry Jones, this long wait, and Flozell Adams is finally over. They can finally look ahead to their next playoff game. Look out.
And that is not intercepted because he was out of bounds. Jenkins picks it off and he runs into Peters up the field, but he was standing out of bounds, so it's just incomplete. Ball goes over to Dallas. One kneel down and you can go home.
There's a smile out of Wade. Attaboy. All that stuff is finally over. You don't have to listen, Tony. You don't have to hear it anymore. He was confident. We talked to him. He never blinked. He just never did. Tony felt like he was going to get it done in this one, and he certainly did.
They gave Jerry a game ball.
Or he took it.
It's a big mortgage on this place. Need all the stuff you can get.
So you guys did fine, but I put up $700 million. Give me that ball.
Right. The Dallas Cowboys, for the first time in 13 years, win a postseason game. They go to Minnesota. The winner of tomorrow's Green Bay-Arizona game goes to New Orleans. If the Cowboys win in Minnesota next week, and either Green Bay or Arizona defeats New Orleans, you could have the NFC Championship game back here